Hello everyone, Josh here with Anime Impact, bringing you some more Dragalia Lost, and today is the day for the beginner guide. So we're going to try and go through all the menu options for the most part, talk a little bit about the game, some of the things that maybe look out for, try to answer a lot of what you may have questions-wise. If I don't cover everything and you do have further questions, be sure to join us in the description below at our Discord. You can use the Dragalia Lost channel. I'm also going to be linking the Reddit, the wiki, stuff like that, some more helpful resources and information in case I don't fully cover everything. Those will be helpful to you as well. And you can, of course, also use the comment section below. So let's jump right into it. So as you can see, after you've logged into the game for the first time, you've done your tutorial, you'll get to pretty much a page similar to this. And this is basically the main lobby. You'll notice that the background does change. It's pretty cool how the background kind of goes through their day-to-day thing. It's like they go out on like a morning journey, then they go in for like a little party or some recreational time, and then they sit at dinner, and then they go to sleep in bed and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool how they do the background stuff, but enough of that. So at the very top, let's talk about some of those things really quick. So these little feathers right here, where it says 50, these are your gather wings. On the right side of that is your actual gift box. That's where a lot of your rewards and stuff like that will go. Like for example, if you beat like a quest and you've earned like up to 25 gems for beating that quest for like the first time or whatever by completing endeavors, stuff like that will be in there. If you get other kind of gift rewards and stuff like that from the actual game developers, from like Nintendo or side games for whatever, like an event or something, again, that stuff will be in your gift box, which you can see right up here. You can click that, and you'll notice we have limited, no limit, and history. Stuff that says it's got no limit means it'll just be there forever. Like you can grab it at any time. Stuff that says limited, you want to grab it by a certain date. As you can see, it says expired. So if I don't grab this by 10/6, it'll expire, then I'll lose it. So you definitely want to grab these things as soon as possible, which we'll go ahead and do right here. Okay, all good to go. Now, if you look at the diamond, the orange diamond, that's diamantium. That's basically another premium currency alongside the actual worm mites, which you could see the little rainbow colored where it says 1,365. That's what you're going to usually use for the most part for redoing stamina. If you want to do that, purchasing your daily items and stuff like that, like your like materials and stuff like that for certain things like weapons, characters, dragons, stuff like that. And mostly going to be used for your, of course, your summoning, for your gotcha summons on the banner. Now above that is your stamina. Pretty self-explanatory. That's pretty much, some quests and missions cost a certain amount of stamina. You're going to use your stamina at the top to do so. My advice to you is probably, if you want to play this game more casually and not like super grind hard, especially if you're not going to whale out, you want to play more free to play, I would say you just go in, clear out your stamina, then come back in a few hours and do it again, and then just do that every day. Just clear your stamina quickly, get your daily log and stuff like that, and move on with your day. And on the very left side of that, that is your actual character level, like your full account level, your rank. We are level 12 right now, as you can see. So we've been playing for a little while here. And then below that is your actual title. Your title is just a cool little thing to show basically your progress and stuff like that within the game. The higher you get, the more titles you can earn. It's basically just like a little self-achievement to say, hey, you've been doing a really good job. You've earned this title. And when you start the game, everybody should have Traitorous Prince for the most part as your title. And that'll just kind of go alongside your name when other players see you, for example, when you're doing co-op. Below that is kind of just like a little event banner, just kind of like just telling you what's going on right now, sales or whatever, or some kind of gift packs going on. Nothing really there to really, worth noting. Then we go below that, we have the Jumpstart Endeavors. Now the middle one that looks like a note, like a piece of paper, that's actually your missions, like your actual missions that you would do like forever, like throughout your entire career in the game. To the right side of that is the item shop that looks kind of like a shield And then on the left side of the piece of paper, you have like the little speech bubble with the exclamation point. This is basically where you can see all the latest news and stuff like that going on, bug fixes, maintenance announcements, what's new, stuff like that. You'll usually see this when you first log into the game. You can actually go ahead and click Don't Show Again if you're going to log into the game multiple times in a day. That way you don't see it keep popping up. So that's pretty much what that is. And then again, if you click the piece of paper, it'll show you your daily missions, your limited missions. These missions are limited. That means you can only do them in a certain amount of time before they go away. So you definitely want to try and get through these as much as you can. As you can see here, these ones have 13 days left. Your normal missions, these are basically your lifetime missions, the ones that just go on and on and on to oblivion. These are ones that you're just going to do over time by playing the game for long periods of time, and it's going to tell you what your rewards and stuff like that are on the side. And then special, you can buy these from the shop to buy special missions if you want. So that is the endeavors, aka missions. And then again, if you click the right side there, you're going to go to the actual item shop. We're not going to spend too much time in here because most of this is more cash, and we're going to try and stick more to the free-to-plays in this guide. But as you can see here, you have a lot of different things. You have your value packs, you have your storage packs, you have like a lot of other sales going on. Your diamantium packs with luxury items. The two items you're going to be focusing on mostly are going to be the upgrade essentials, which the upgrade essentials, you can do this for free once per day, and it's an item summon. Then it'll cost 50 wormites, and then it'll cost 100, and then I don't know how much after that because I don't think anybody should ever do that unless you're going to whale out. So if you're going to be a whale, of course, you can try that out. These are some other things that you can purchase daily. Once you get like really far in the game and you can get a lot of rupees, which is basically like the free currency in game, kind of like the equivalent of gold in a lot of gacha games. That's kind of what this is. You can use those to buy some of your items in here too, and a lot of these items are very useful. And if you get to that point in a game where you're getting a lot of this stuff pretty easily, then I would definitely say try and buy up most of these per day if you get, when you get more to end game level. So that's some of the stuff there. And then you also have the treasure trade, which you can actually go into the Dragon Trials or the treasure trade and, trade in some of your items that you've received from certain event dungeons and trade those in for better items, basically. You also have a limited time only, but there's currently no exchange events going on for that, so you don't have to worry about that at the recording of this video. They may have some of those in the future. So that's pretty much the item shop area and the gift item exchange and stuff like that. And now if you look to the right, we have a thing called Join Co-op. Now you will not see this Join Co-op button when you first start the game. I believe you'll get this, I think, after Chapter 2 or somewhere between Chapter 2 and 3. You should unlock co-op mode, as well as some other things that we'll be talking about in the game. So you will not get co-op like right out of the bat, but you'll get it pretty soon. Like if you play just for a couple hours or so, you should unlock co-op mode. And you can click co-op mode when you do unlock it. And what's really cool is you can find a room or enter an ID. And if you enter an ID, that means you can go to a private friend's room. So you and your buddies online can play by yourselves in story mode. Or even in event dungeons, which is just awesome because now it adds another layer of overall social networking to the game, where you can actually enjoy a very vastly big game with a lot of players around the world, but you can enjoy it in your own private, kind of your own private atmosphere, if you want to say that, say it like that. So it's really, really cool. You can do that in like your own, little private thing with you and your buddies, which is really, really cool. You can like set up like raid teams and go in there on Discord or Skype or wherever you'd prefer. And then you can also click Find Room. It'll find a room, just a random room, and you can select one. Like this one is Chapter 413. I could go to that room and join those guys. They currently have a party of 1 right now, so they have room for 3 more people. So if I went in there, they would need 2 more. This room down here is Chapter 4, Area 2-2, the Movers and the Shakers. I could go in there as well and join their team and just et cetera, et cetera. I mean, it's just a lot of different rooms here. It's really cool to do that as well. And that's kind of what those feather things are for at the very top, where we got 50 of them. you can jump in those and do stuff like that, which is really cool. And co-op, by the way, is a good way to get gems, because as of right now, the recording of the video, I'm not sure how limited it is, but right now you get 50 wormites per different character, different person around the world that you've played with in a co-op game. So every different person you've played with that's a new person that you've never played with before, you'll get an additional free 50 wormites. So that's something to definitely take advantage of. I'm not sure how much you can do that for before it caps out. If there is a cap, I don't know. If there isn't, that's great. But that's definitely a good way to build up some additional, you know, summon currency if you want to try and summon for better units and stuff like that in the game. So definitely cool to have that. And then down here we have events. New quest daily will be in the middle. And then quest on the right side. Now the new quest daily, this is a really good way to get resources for certain characters. And what I mean by that is you have the Avenue to Power. This is highly recommended in my personal opinion. The Avenue to Power is a good way to jump in here and get items that you can use to power up your characters. Basically, they're basically EXP items. They're like bronze, there's silver, there's gold. And they're called crystals, and you can use those to actually level up your characters a lot faster than just grinding them out, going through different story quests and dungeons and stuff like that. And so it's really cool to do these. It tells you what the stamina costs are, of course, but we're going to talk more about what the different numbers and stuff like that mean when we go into the quest mode. So really cool there. You can do that. It'll even tell you what the type is. As you can see, it'll say purple right next to the name, like purple, which would be shadow. In this game, you got shadow, light, and then you got green, red, and blue. Which, if you want to be a more of an elemental type of player, you could just consider it wind, fire, and water. And then light and darkness, or light and shadow, whatever. So that's kind of the different elements in this game. And then they have the Avenue to Fortune. This is a good way to jump into the game and get more rupees. And you're going to need rupees for a lot of things in this game. I mean, rupees are literally, I think you're going to use them way more often. You're going to use wormites. Wormites are going to be more so for your summoning, but rupees, aka gold, is going to be used for so much in this game. So if you ever have just a little bit of stamina to burn and you're a little bit short on rupees, jump into Avenue to Fortune and do that. Get some of your rewards. You can see them here. You know, some of the rewards you can get some of these items, but you know, this is the rupees here. That's what you're after. You can usually get a pretty good bit in here as well. So there's that. And then we have the Light Sunder Ruins. But now keep in mind, the ruins will change every single day to a different type. Like today, it's light. Tomorrow, it could be darkness. It could be wind. It could be fire, or it could be water. So it's going to be a different color every day. So depending on what day they set them up, I'm assuming they're probably going to run on a set rotation. So depending on that, that's probably when you're going to want to go in on certain days and jump in here and grind out certain things. Like for me, for example, my main lead character on my team is a light character. So taking advantages today was a good idea for me because I need to get a lot of items. That way you can keep, you know, basically boosting up your character stats and unlocking certain skills and other statistics and stuff like that to make my character more powerful. So that's something you're going to want to consider there. And then I believe when you get to chapter 3, maybe 4, you'll unlock the Dragon Trials. And the Dragon Trials are a challenge event. They have one so far for me personally. I have one for Mid, Mercury, Braun, and Jupiter. And these are all 4 dragons that you get for free, by the way, doing story mission. And they're all 4-star dragons. So very cool. I'm assuming I'm probably going to get another one for Dark as well, or Shadow, rather, you know, purple. Because we got green, blue, red, and yellow, so the last color would be purple. So I'm assuming I'll probably get one more to add to that list. So that's another thing. That's where you're going to go in there and you're going to get certain specialized items that you can use to trade in to get other dragons and dragon level up materials and stuff like that. All right. So you can get out of that. All right. And right here, this is campaign. For whatever reason, it threw me into that. Just click home there for a moment. All right, so we've talked about events. which is also where we were just at. I'll show you in a moment. See, if you click events, it'll take you to the same location that the daily quest did. So either one of those buttons is, for the most part, going to take you to the same area. Now that we've talked about all that, the very bottom, we're going to skip quests for the moment. We're going to make quests the last thing we talk about today. So we're going to go straight to the bottom. We have the home page, home button. You know, you know what that means. I mean, it's very simplistic. We understand. Then you have upgrade. Then you have teams. You have castle, summon, and more. Now, keep in mind, upgrade and castle will not be unlocked when you first start the game. You'll have to progress a little bit in the story. Not too long, but you have to progress a little bit to unlock both upgrade and castle. And then if you go to upgrade, there's 6 different areas that you can upgrade into. All of these will not be unlocked at the gate either, even after you unlock the upgrade tab. You'll have to unlock these slowly. I believe when you get to chapter 4, you should have all of these unlocked by then. And it'll tell you a little bit about your currencies here at the bottom. We have 3,400 water. We have like 10,000 rupees right now, and we have 25,000 mana. Mana is going to be used here in the mana circle. What mana does is it actually adds additional statistic buffs and skills to certain characters. So if you notice some of our characters right now, it'll show the 4 active characters. When it says active, that's just saying what characters are in your current team. So as you can see, we have a team of 4, and you can see all of them have a 10 under their name, under their character avatar, except for the first one's at 19 because I actually broke through one. So to do a full mana, I call it a mana circle. Well, that's what it's called anyway. Well, to do a full mana circle, you have to unlock 10 of these, and there's usually 10 per circle. As you can see, if we go back to where the word says unbind, if we go from left to right, we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then the one directly underneath it where it says unbind should be 10. So once you've unlocked all 10 of those, you'll see like this little sparkling effect going on in the background, and it'll say click unbind. To unbind it, you're going to need select items, which I now have these select items. And once you've got those items, you can actually click unlock, and now it'll take you up to another mana cycle where you can restart the process. And you'll notice if you click certain things, it'll tell you what you need, required materials. It'll tell you how much mana it's going to cost. You get mana from doing a lot of different things, by completing missions, by doing dungeons, by doing quests, by taking friends into battle with you, etc., etc. There's a lot of ways to get mana. But this is telling us that it's going to cost 3,000 mana. It's going to cost some flame orbs, it's going to cost some blaze orbs, and it's going to cost some flame worm scale. And as you can see here, we can't even do this because we do not have 10 flame orbs or 1 blaze orb. As you can see at the bottom number there, we have neither of those 2 items, but we do have the scale. So we can't do that. But usually when you're on the first cycle, they won't really have too many of those that are going to require any specialized items. Most of them are just going to require the mana. And then usually you would just click auto. And then it would just auto as far as it'll go, which we're going to do here. So it's going to give us the HP. It's going to give us the strength plus 9. That seems like the only one that it unlocked. Yeah, so it will say it's already unlocked. This one's probably the very last one we got to do. Nope. So it did that one. It did that one. Let's see here. So it pretty much did every one of them that didn't require specialized items. See here, we can't do that one yet. I think it already did the strength plus 9, yes, and it did the other HP. So basically, it did 8 out of 10 of them. The only ones we can't do is the new ability and the new skill, because those both require items. But as you can see, it boosts some of your stats. You know, you get strength plus 9, you get HP plus 14. You know, you get like 3 pairs of those, so those all add up, giving you better stats for your character. And again, every time you do a full circle, you're able to click this thing here to unbind and then go up to the next level. So that is how mana circles work. I would say only invest in characters that are 4-star or higher on anything in this game. I would not invest anything on any 3-star characters at all. 3-star worm items or 3-star dragons either. Just do not invest in anything that are 3-star at all in this game. That's just kind of my advice to you from playing for a period of time, especially if you want to stay free to play and play to the utmost potential you possibly can as a free-to-play grinding player. You just do not invest in 3 stars. I implore you to not do that. So that's how mana circles work. Next, we have crafting. Once you've unlocked crafting, you'll be able to craft these different items. As you can see, we have swords, we have daggers. We have sword 1, then we have the other swords, then we have the dagger. So I apologize. Then we have the axe, then we have the spear, then we have the bow, and then we have the rods, and then we have the staff. What's very weird to me is the rods and the staff are kind of like seem like similar things to me in my opinion. Same with the first 2 swords, but they are kind of, I guess, different in a way, I suppose. But yeah, but you can craft those when you have the items. You just click craft. It'll tell you that you can't make like a 4-star or a 5-star sword right now because it requires smithy level 4, smithy level 7. We'll talk about all that. And then you also have enhancements. So you can enhance your weapon. And when you enhance your weapon, it actually goes on a tree. You can actually set it up to enhance to a certain tree. So for example, if you're running a fire character, you don't want to use the path down here because this will eventually take your sword to a water and wind type. You don't want that. You're going to want to take it up here so you can take it to a fire type because you have a fire character or a light character or a shadow character. So, I mean, pretty much that's just common sense there for the most part. But I know it could get a little bit confusing, but that's definitely something there that you want to take note of. Definitely make sure you're using the right, you're going to the right tree path for whatever character you're putting that weapon on. So be very careful with that. So now that we've talked about crafting, we now have dragons. You can upgrade your dragons. Now dragons are in the game. You can equip different dragons to your characters. And this is basically the dragon that your character will evolve into during battle. So you want to be very cautious of what type of dragon you're using, what their abilities are, and do they benefit the character that you're using it with. So if you're using a light character, most times you're going to want to use a light dragon. If you're using a fire character, you probably want to equip it with a fire dragon because certain dragons offer certain, let's go ahead and just take a look at Mercury Dragon, for example. Mercury Dragon stats, it's a 4-star water. It's level 1 out of 30. Its HP is 21, strength 6, might's 117. Now that's what it's adding to your character. It's adding 21 attack. It's adding 6 more attack to your character, 21 more HP, and an additional 117 might, which would be basically your overall team's battle power or your character's battle power, for example. And you can click over here. You can see here it does Hydro Cannon, level 1. And its abilities is water, HP plus 15%. So if you're running a water character with this dragon, they're going to gain an additional 15% HP, which is a pretty significant boost. And then it'll just tell you a little story about the dragon. So there you have it. And then you can go down here and click upgrade. You can upgrade it or unbind from this menu. Or you can go back here and click upgrade from here or unbind from here. To unbind the dragon, you would need duplicates of the exact dragon. So if I want to bind Mercury 4 times, which is the max you can unbind, I would need 4 additional dupes of that dragon. Now, what unbinding does is basically allows you to level your character up further beyond what it's maxed out at right now, which you can see is 30. If I unbinded it multiple times, that level 30, the max level would go higher and higher. Then I can make my dragon much stronger. And that same thing for unbinding applies to weapons as well. So keep that in mind. And as you can see, we can level up with upgrade materials, dragon fruit or ripe dragon fruit, or any other dragon fruit that you may come across. Or you can use other dragons that you may not want, like 3-star dragons, for example. So guys, just don't get rid of your 3-star stuff or your 2-star stuff and stuff like that, because it could still be helpful when trying to level up. As you can see, like if we just want to use our 4-star, it would take Mercury level 4, but we don't want to use none of our 4-stars. I'd actually say go back and make sure you lock up all these dragons. And to lock things up, you can go to any menu that lets you open their cards up, and then just do that. Just click lock, boom, and you're good to go. And do that for all your level 4s, except for your dupes, because you're probably going to want to feed those in. So, worm prints. This is the third thing that you can pull from a banner. There are 3 things that you can pull in a banner. A worm print, okay, characters, and dragons. All 3 of those things can come from a banner. and they can all go to 5-star. So as you can see here, we got a few worm prints that are 4-star right here. Like we got Happier Times. You can also level those up to 30. And again, the same thing applies. You can use items, or you can use other worm prints to upgrade it, or you can unbind it as well. As you can see here, I'll show you a quick example of unbinding. So we have this one here. So we have a mana fount, which is mana fountain, I guess, short for that. And you see that we have 2 dupes. We're going to go ahead and just feed both those dupes in. And you'll notice that our max level right now is 10. It should increase to 20. There you go. It goes up by 5 each time. And once you fully duped out a card, it'll actually change the card art will actually slowly change, and it'll finally become a rainbowed. So it's pretty cool. And what I mean by rainbow, those little diamonds up there will become rainbows. See these diamonds right here? See how there's 2 out of 4? When you get all 4 of them, they'll just become rainbows, basically signifying that, hey, this card is maxed out. And of course, the card art also changes, because before it was like a blue, now it's like a reddish, and it'll change again when you max it. So very cool that the card arts actually changed and stuff like that. Very interesting. I like that. It's just an added touch, little spice there to the game. I love it. Now we have weapons and adventures. Here we go. So weapons are similar to pretty much everything else we just talked about. You can upgrade them, or you can unbind them if you have duplicates. I can show you an example of what a maxed out item looks like. So let's go ahead and grab this rod, the enchanted wand, and as you can see, its max level is 10, and it can be duped 4 times. So boom, 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 and boom. And as you can see, this will make it a rainbow. So here you go. And there we go. And now it is rainbowed. And now it can go to max level 30. Very cool. It added an additional 20 levels. Remember, 5 for each. So there you have that. So that's kind of how you do that. Same thing with upgrading. You can upgrade them with other weapons, or upgrade them with weapon materials. And a lot of these materials, like I said, you can get them from the item shop that we talked about earlier in the video, or from doing quests and dungeons and stuff like that. So very cool. And now let's go to the final one, Adventurers. This will be the first one that you'll actually unlock when you do unlock the upgrade tab at the bottom. So you can see our characters here. We can upgrade characters, or we can promote them. You can promote characters also using mana. You're going to use these with Eld Water. You can actually get additional Eld Water by pulling dupes. If you pull a dupe, it'll give you a lot of Eld Water. You can also get Eld Water from doing other things like quests and stuff like that, and missions. But for example, if I want to take this 3-star to a 4-star, it's going to cost me 2,500 water. I got 3,400, so it'll take me down to 900 left, and I can promote it. I wouldn't recommend promoting any 3-stars to 4-stars, because that's just a waste of resources. I would wait to do it till when you can actually make a 4-star a 5-star. That's when I would suggest doing it. As you can see here, if we want to make a 4-star or 5-star right now, it's going to cost 25,000 water. We've only got 3,400, so we're definitely short. And 5-stars cannot go any higher. There is no 6-star right now. That's it. 5-star, if it's a natural 5-star, or you took it to a 5-star, it can't go no higher. And what's really good about this game is it doesn't require your characters to have 4 dupes in it. Thank goodness, like a lot of other games, Dokkan Battle. You literally, if you pull any kind of dupes, you just get water for it. You get water, and that water will go towards trying to make your other 4-stars, 5-stars, or whatever. So it's pretty much what you do there. Same with upgrading. It's kind of like the weapons and stuff. You go to upgrade. You can upgrade with materials. Remember the bronze crystals I was talking about earlier today. We also had the silver crystals and the gold crystals. You can use that. You can even click just auto. It'll auto do it. It'll tell you what level it'll take it up to. We can go ahead and do that right now. I need to level this character up more anyway, so let's go ahead and do it. So Hildegard is leveling up. If you do not want to wait for it to just go through each level, just click anywhere on the screen, and it should just go all the way to the end. And as you can see there, we leveled it up. All right, level 38 now out of 80. So that is how you level up a character. So we're good with that. I think you guys all got a pretty good understanding of that option. Now we have the team tab at the bottom. Click team, and this is your team setup. Now, oh, got a notification here. I think I unlocked something before and I wasn't paying attention. Match adventures and dragons to activate special abilities. So yeah, like I said, I told you about this earlier. You want to match attributes, you know, the proper attribute like fire character with a fire, dragon, water with water, you know, etc., etc. We already talked about that earlier. But from this menu, if you're a newer player and you're not really sure about how to do team building, you can actually just click optimize at the bottom. Let's just go to let's click this little arrow over here. You can actually make up to 6 teams at a time. So let's just go to this team because this is a team I don't really care about. When you just click optimize. So from the optimize tab, we can optimize by just fire element, water, wind, light, or shadow, or by all, which you'd probably want to do all unless you're trying to make a mono team. If you're trying to take on like a specialized quest or mission where you're fighting like all water types, for example, and you want a strong team, you can build a whole team of wind and then go in there and wreck the water opponents very easily, including the boss. And you can also do emphasis on balanced offense or defense, and you can even change apply to adventurers, worm prints, dragons, and weapons. Check things and uncheck things however you want to basically let the game build the team for you the best way possible without you having to go through the mind-numbing pain of trying to figure out what to do. So very, very cool feature there. I'm glad that they put that in there. I do not see that in a lot of gacha games, so that was pretty awesome for me to see that. Now let's go back to our main team here, Team 1. Now, you can edit teams by clicking the bottom right. You can click edit team, and you can edit your teams manually. If you want to switch out your leader with somebody else that's already on your team, click your team in a teammate. It'll have a question mark over it. Then select your leader, and then they will simply swap spaces. That's all you got to do. And then you can just click it, and you'll go back. You know, you can just do that. And you can do the same thing for the bottom. If we want to put, for example, you there, we just click and swap. Simple. But remember, if you do this, if you actually take a team member out and swap it with somebody that's on the bench, that's what I call this area, you will have to re-put all their items back. So you have to go here, which this is good because I'm going to show you how to do this too. So from this area, you'll notice that underneath each character, there's 3 different slots. You have your weapon, you have your worm prince, and you have your dragon. So as you can see, our character, let's choose their weapon. Let's go ahead and give him his level 18 sword. Select that, and then go to his worm print. Select, which one isn't used right now? Select that, and then go to dragon and select his dragon. And that's it. And then you click back, boom, done. Simple. You can click optimize too, and it'll do automatically, like we talked about earlier. So that's how you get there. You can always click back as well. You can even sort there. There's filters for sorting and all that other good stuff, but that's more the technical stuff. If you really want to dive into that, that's fine. So that is your team. Now, if you want to see your full collection of characters, click collection. That'll show you all your characters. This will show you all your weapons, all your worm prints, and your dragons. And if you ever want to see any of these, anytime you see their icon anywhere, you can literally just click and hold, and it'll bring up your character's information. Then you can click the arrows down here and see all the good stuff that you want to see. You can see what its co-abilities are, which are going to be used with the rest of your team. You can see what its inherent abilities are for just itself. You can see a little brief description about it, the character or the dragon or whatever. You can click upgrade, and if you want to take some cool, sexy little images, you can go in and press this button down here, and boom, there you go. And then you can actually see it. You can even move the image around to get the right shot that you want. You can even click to listen to its voice, which we have the volume turned off right now, but you can hear what the voice over sounds like from the actual voice actor for each character. And you can even put it in 3D mode. You can even see what it looks like in 3D. And also you can spin it around. So very, very nice there. I like that feature. Really cool, especially if you want to get like a wallpaper or take a screenshot if you're trying to make thumbnails for YouTube, or just to post it on Facebook or wherever, whatever social media platform you use. So that's pretty cool there. It shows your statistics, of course. You can even click details here, and you can see, you know, a little bit more in-depth details. It could kind of tell you the bonuses you're getting from your dragon, your worm prints, your ability, the Halidom, which we will talk about what that is as well in a bit. So pretty much all you need to know there. You can do the same thing, like I said, with your weapons. You can click and look at them. You can click your worm prints and look at them. You can click your dragon and look at them. Like we just click and hold, grab our dragon. Same thing, similar to the characters. All right. So that's basically your teams, your upgrades. Now we're going to talk about the castle. So let's go ahead and click the castle. Now again, this will be a feature that you will not have when you first start the game, but this is called the Halidome, aka the Castle Grounds. And you'll also have the Dragon's Roost, Adventurer Stories, and Dragon Stories. But we'll talk about what those two things are in a moment. We also have Castle Stories, which we'll get to that later too. But so basically, you go to the Castle Grounds. This is basically more like your Farmville type of setup. If you guys have ever played Farmville and you got to set up like your own little farm, you got to harvest stuff, feed it, plant stuff, build stuff, whatever. This is kind of what you're doing here. As you can see here, we've already built some things. After something's built, it'll have a check mark. That way you can click it to confirm that it's been built, and it'll, boom, it'll be there. You can see your facility level. Look, mine right now is 27. It'll show you your current rupees, which right now for me is 10,800. And it'll show how many workers that you have available, which right now is 2. So both my workers are available for work right now, which you can see right here. Spend 250 wormite to increase the number of smith worms. I don't know if I'd want to do that right now. I may need to do that down the road, but I would just keep it at 2 for now. And you can click collect all to collect all your rewards, which you can see we just collected some dragon fruit and we collected some rupees, because I have a few buildings here. Now all these buildings will not be available. You'll have to unlock them slowly, and if you want to know what level you got to be to unlock them, all you got to do here is click build, and it'll tell you right here, building limit has been reached. Of course, we can only build these for now, one of each, and we've been able to build all of them so far. Under production, we've built the rupee mine. We built 2 of them. You're allowed to have 2. Again, all the adventurers, all the different elements, we've already built all those. And decorative, these do not require any kind of build time at all. These do not have a build time. You can just build these anytime you want. These are just decor to kind of make your area look pretty good, I guess. So that's the build feature. And let's try and show you guys. Well, I guess I can't build anything right now. Well, I guess I could. Let's just go ahead and build a tree, for example. So let's go and grab a tree. It's going to cost 300 rupees. We're going to go ahead and build it. See, time to finish is 0 seconds because decorative items do not require a time. And then you can just move this around anywhere in open space. It'll show you where there are open spaces at. It'll ask you to cancel or confirm. You can confirm that. Now, when you first start, you won't have this area down here because I just recently unlocked this because I've been playing for a while. But when you first start this, you'll have this area right here and then this little patch right here. So that'll be it. You can ignore these characters. They're just there for show. When you unlock crafting, you'll get the smithy over here, which will be this building here, which I just got to level 2. And if you guys will notice, remember back when we were thinking about making higher class items, they required your smithy level to be a certain level. Well, this is the level that they're referring to. As you can see, our smithy level is 2. If we want to get our smithy level to 3, we gotta upgrade. We gotta upgrade certain things, which I think I can actually do this as soon as I get my Halidome to level 3. So I gotta get my Halidome to level 3, and this is the Halidome. It's the castle here. This is the Halidome, which we just got the level 2 finally. If I want to level it up to 3, I'm gonna need these specialized items, which means I already have 21 of those, 8 of those. So I need 1 of these storm orbs, and that's it. And by the way, if you ever want to know how to acquire these items, just click how to acquire, and it'll show you where to go. Of course, these are areas I don't have unlocked yet, so I can, of course, do it. But you can click them, and it'll tell you where they're at, and it says this will be available 9:30. So this will be a quest that I can get in a couple of days. So I'll have to definitely make sure I do that, so I can get some storm orbs, so I can level up my Halidome. So that's pretty cool there. So that's just some features there, you know, and these are really useful too, because if you notice, I have a dragon tree level 4, and what the dragon tree is doing for me right now is it has a production time of 11 hours and 45 minutes, and if I upgrade it, it'll go to 11:30. My limit that I can get, that it'll hold for, is 8, and then the output will be 2. And it gives me basically dragon fruit, varieties of dragon fruit, which will be 3 different kinds, which I can use to level up my dragons. And it even requires some items there for that. Like my rubies here. My rupee mine is level 5 now. Its production time is 6 hours, and it can hold up to 1,000 rupees at a time. So I'll be able to collect those every 6 hours and get 1,000 rupees. And I can do that twice because I think I have this one at level 5 as well. Nope, I have that one at level 4. So I might as well go ahead and level that to 5 as well. And as you can see there, once you put something into work here, you only have one more available unless you increase that, of course, with wormites. But that is kind of up to you. These are the different elements. These give elemental boost to your character of that element. For example, if I have a light character on my team, I'd probably want to focus on building up my light altar as much as I can because you get HP boost and strength boost. And right now my HP boost is at 1.5% and strength is 1%. If I upgraded this right now, which will take 5 minutes, it'll go to 1.5% strength, as well as what I already have it as HP. So those are just some things cool there to do. And then you have your stone house. This just basically shows if you have anything new unlocked, which we don't right now. And that's basically that for that area. So pretty cool there. We can go ahead. You can click this as well. You can hide objects, hide UI, castle info if you want to see your castle info. This will tell you. Our holodome is level 2. Facility level is 29. Our production right now. Our adventures, bonuses, really cool there. And our dragon stuff. So that's it for that. So let's go and click castle again, bringing us back to this. Now let's go to the Dragon's Roost. Now the Dragon's Roost is where you'll go to boost up basically your friendship, your bonding with your dragon. So all the different dragons we have, you can select which dragon you want. So right now we have these dragons available, and these are the dragons that are of course equipped to our characters on our team. So as you can see, I have one dragon level 10, one dragon level 3, and one dragon level 2. So you can go ahead and grab your level 10 dragon. It'll select it. It'll tell you what level it is. It'll tell you how much you need to level it up. It's 300 out of 600, and you can give it a gift. All the gifts will cost rupees, and you can do them all once per day. So you can do 5 gifts a day, and they get more expensive the higher you get. As you can see, the only one I have left cost me 12,000. So can't do that one right now. And then you can also use items, which you can just go ahead and grab this item here. Actually, I think I already used. Did I already? No, there we go. Just click and drag it on there. There you go. Bam. And now it's level 12. And I cannot level it up anymore right now because it's going to give me an item. The higher level you get, the better the items will be. So the dragon thanked me by giving me a gift, gave me 1,000 mana there, and that's it. And then I can go in and gift it again. I can go and give it items, and as you can see, I have no items left in my shop. I can't afford to give them the biggest one, so I have to wait till the day resets to go ahead and get more gifts. And you can do that every day for whatever dragon you're working on. I would highly recommend only working on 4 or 5-star dragons. Like I said, I would not really invest anything into 3 stars of anything in this game, so keep that in mind. Let's go back to the castle. So that's what you do with your dragons. And that, by the way, also boosts stats slightly for your characters that it's equipped to as well. So don't forget about that. Now, adventurer stories. Remember back when we were working on the mana circles? Every time you get a new ability or a new skill, I forget which one it was exactly, but once you've done that, you unlock like a new little story thing attached to that character. And you can go ahead and you can click the new ones. It'll ask you to download, small little download file. So you can get like the little storybook on it. And then it'll open it up. And this is cool what you can do with this. You don't have to watch. You can just skip it. So we can watch the whole little story thing about the character if we want. Or you can just skip it and proceed, skip the scene, and you'll get a free 25 wormites. Some of them are 50, some of them are even higher than that. It really all depends on what tier of your character is. Is it a 3-star, 4-star, or 5-star? So you can go in and get those, and then you can collect those from your gift box at the top right. And you can do that for dragons as well. Now, to get the dragons to work, you have to do what we just did in the Dragon's Roost. The higher level your dragon, the more stories you can actually unlock for that dragon. I believe the first story that you can unlock for your dragons is if you get it to Dragon Roost level 10. Now, that's not Dragon level 10. That's the Dragon Roost level 10. That's the friendship level. That's separate from the level of the actual dragon that we showed you back in the upgrade panel. So keep that in mind. Those are 2 separate things. Even though they're on the same dragon, those are 2 separate things. So that is that. So that's for the Dragon Stories, Adventure Stories. Castle Stories works the same, but you got to get your castle high enough level, which I obviously don't, so that's not even unlocked yet, but it'll work the same, I'm sure of it. Alright, so that brings us to summons. So right here, you have your banners. These are the banners right now. You summon characters. It'll show you the featured characters. Right now, we have Azelith as like the main character on this banner. It's the featured character. It's a sword, 5-star fire type, and then we have the 5-star dragon, which is a light type, Jian the Arc, and then we have the featured 5-star Valiant Crown. So there you go, and that's the worm print, of course, another worm print there. So those are the featured things. You can click at First Encounters. It'll show you here. You can look through those. It'll tell you where you first saw those characters in the actual story, which is pretty cool. They have the showcase info, which you can look here. This is basically just showcasing the characters that are featured for the most part. As you can see, it'll give you a little stat preview, skill preview, ability preview, the actual artwork and stuff like that. You can even go into details here. It'll tell you what you get for dupes. For example, 3 stars will give you 150, 4-star dupes will give you 1,000, and 5 stars will give you 3,000 Eldwater. So there's that. So pretty cool information there if you need it. We have appearance rates. Now this is the actual drop rates for characters. You can look at normal summons or 4-star summons, and it'll tell you all the different percentages on everything that you want to know. This is more for people that are more like analytical people that really want to just sit there and kind of dive down into the stats and kind of see how the game operates. So that's definitely one thing there. Now you have your daily deal. Now this is going to be for cash players only. As you can see, it's for Diamanium. So that's for cash players, of course. Single summons, where you can do a single summon using Wormites or Diamantium. My goodness, that word drives me crazy. So you get 150 for a single summon there, or you can do a multi-summon, which right now on this current banner gives you a guaranteed 4-star or higher, which I highly advise you do this and not single summons, especially if there's like a guarantee with it, like a 4-star or higher. I'd definitely go with them always. And that's, of course, going to cost 1,500 Wormites. So we're pretty close to doing another multi, which is awesome. And that's basically the summoning, guys. Like, that's basically the summons for the most part. And now we have 2 things left to talk about. We got to talk about all the options under more, and then how quest works. And then I think we've pretty much wrapped up the beginner guide. I think we're making pretty good time, 47 minutes. We're trying to get this under an hour, of course, to cover everything. So we have player info. Let's do that first. So you have Google Play achievements. Don't worry about that. That's for Google Play games. Honestly, it doesn't really matter, honestly, unless you're like a really big Google Games player, like you really care about all that stuff. It's really not important. It's just kind of excess. I mean, that kind of goes with almost every game on Google Play right now. If you're playing on Apple, that doesn't even matter to you at all anyway. Stickers, you actually get these cool little stickers here. Pretty dope. You get these different little stickers, and it's whatever. It's whatever. It's just little stickers that you can put on your loadout. You know, it's whatever. Nothing special there. So just going to go back to more, go back to player info, and go to profile. Now profile, this is where you're going to see your title that was talking about earlier. You can change your title if you unlock newer titles, which I do have. Dragon Blood Prince, which will be the one you get at first, I believe, and then Traitorous Prince, which is one we have now. I think every time you get a new title, it'll update automatically, but if you ever want to go back to one of the older ones, you can do so in here by just simply selecting it. You can look at your name. You can change your username. My username right now, of course, is Anime YouTube. And then your player ID. You can copy that, and that's how you can send your ID to people on Discord, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, wherever, so they can add you and you guys can play together. So there's that. So go back to more here. So we've already talked about player info. Now, help and support. I'm not going to really talk about this too much. Contact support if you have any kind of problems. Kind of like in most games. Lead feedback if you want to do so. Facts and questions if there's some questions that they already have automatically generated with generated answers. You can look there, and they also have the help, which you can also use. We have other. Now we have notices, account information, purchase information. This will show all the purchases you've made, crash reports, and customized offers, and return the title screen. So I'm not going to jump into that either because that'll show private information and stuff like that under account management, but that's where you'll go to link your account, which, by the way, if you are not playing on an APK, you are playing on the Google Play version in the proper region that's already been released. excuse me, for this game, you'd want to go to account management and link your account to your Nintendo ID. That way it's safe and secure. This is where you go to do that right there, account management. So do that, guys, if you haven't done it already. And then we have items. These will just show all your items, your consumable items, and your materials. It just kind of shows all the good stuff that you have currently available right now in your entire inventory. So pretty cool there. Then we have options. If the game's running slow for whatever reason, if you're on an emulator, if you're on your mobile phone and you need to save battery or whatever, you can go in here and set that stuff up under the game settings. But this is the sound settings. You can do that first. You can turn off song vocals if you want, turn down sound effects, voices, music. And then here, of course, you can turn the graphics down lower if the game is not running that great for you. You can even turn the smoothing down to normal instead of smooth. Image quality, you can turn that down. Camera shake, you can turn that off. Camera redistancing. Camera settings during skills. UI layout, you can set your UI to be to the left or the right, depending on how you kind of want it to look for you personally. That's personal preference right there. Same with the skill insets. Dodge swipe sensitivity as well. So all kinds of good stuff there. And then we have the system. You can play the game display in 2D or 3D. So that's cool that they give you that option. Dragon's Roots gyroscope, you can turn that on or off. Automatic asset protection, basically anytime you get a character, weapon, or a worm print, or a dragon, or anything like that, that's a 5-star or higher, it'll automatically lock it for you. You can also do it for 4 stars, which I'm probably going to go ahead and do that right now while I'm at it, so I don't have to keep going back and doing that later. The only time that might be a problem is if you pull a lot of dupes, but I guess if you pull dupes of characters, it doesn't matter anyway, so because this is for only dragons, weapons, and worm print. So I guess that really doesn't matter. So if you do pull dupes of any of these 3 things, unfortunately, you're going to have to go and unlock it to unbind it later on. Like we showed you how to do with like the weapons, you know, putting dupes in. You'll have to unlock those to put them in if you have these all check marked like that. So you could leave that unchecked mark for 4 stars if you want to, but it's not really a big deal. You'd probably want to do that stuff as you get them anyway, so you're not behind. Now you have display text instantly. You can have that on and off. I think I'm going to just have that on because I honestly don't read the dialogue half the time. Automatically skip repeat scenes. You can do that on and off as well. Your display language, voice language, and batch download. That's just to download everything if you have any kind of problems for whatever reason you haven't downloaded everything. Or you can just download everything right now without having to wait to download story missions, stuff like that individually. So there's that option as well. And then your alert settings, you can just turn all alerts off, which we can just do that right now. I don't usually bother with alerts. I usually log into the game consistently enough to not matter. You can just turn them all off or on. It just does not matter. So you can go ahead and close out of that, and that's the options panel. And then we have friends. Whew, we're getting through it, guys. Friends list. So this is where you can go and view your current friends list. You can go ahead and check them all out. Check out all your current friends. See what their current leader is that you're going to be using when you take them into battle with you. You can remove them. You can sort them. You know, simple stuff there. It tells you how many friends you're allowed to have. I think when you first start the game, you can only have like 20 or so, but it slowly, gradually increases as you level up. As you can see, we're level 12, so we can have 31 friends right now. Friend search. This is where you'll go to add people. You can get your ID from here as well, and you can put the other player's ID in here and click search. It'll find them, and then you send them a friend request. It'll even show you some recommended friends that you can just request right here. There you go. So in case you don't want to keep looking for players, you can just find a few right here that may interest you. Maybe them have some leaders that they're using right now that may help you in certain areas. You want to friend them for a bit, remove them later, or keep them permanently, whatever you want to do. And then pending requests, this is when people are sending you requests and you have not accepted or declined them yet. So as you can see, I have a few here as well. Go ahead and accept this one. This is a pretty high level player, so go ahead and accept that for now. And helper settings. Helper settings is where you actually set up what character is going to be the character that your friends are going to be using when they choose you in battle. So you can set up your adventures. You can set up your weapons, what weapon you want them to use. Of course, this weapon is no longer being used right now, so I'd probably want to go ahead and set up that weapon now. Your worm prints. We got our worm prints set up where we want, and our dragons. We go ahead and set up our dragons. So now when our friends choose our character to help them, they'll see that we're using a Hildegard level 38, with the new staff, the new updated dragon, and our worm print is still the same as it was before. So, and this does not affect in any way your team. So if you have if you're running a current team right now and they have any of these things that we just used for Hildegard, if they're using those items, it will not take those off them. It will not, because this is just completely separate. This is basically for your friends only, not for your team. So this does not reflect your team, so don't worry about that. So that's pretty much the friends panel. And go back down here to more. And then we have our items, which we already talked about. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. If you guys need further help, if you can't find everything, if you can't find all the answers to your questions in this guide, in this beginner guide, or on the Reddit or the wiki pages, or in my Discord, you can also even go in here to the Adventures Guide, which is really cool. They have their own built-in guide, which you can find here for elements, equipment, weapons, worm prints, abilities, shape-shifting, upgrading adventurers, building, and Dragon's Gift, and some other stuff like that. So really, really cool. And then they have the Dragalia life thing, which is really cool. Here you can go in and watch the entire cinematics of all the things that you've unlocked throughout your adventures in the game. So really, really cool. You can actually just start, you can view all, start from one, and just watch all the cutscenes and cinematics if you really want to. It's kind of like watching a comic book, because that's kind of how they have it set up. It's kind of set up like a comic book. It's pretty interesting. So that's something if you guys want to take the time to do that, which I really don't, and that would add way too much time to this video. So with all that said, we have one thing left to talk about: quest and what in battle looks like and what to do. Whew. Okay. Finally, we are here. So once you go to a quest, we'll actually go to a chapter 1 where you guys will see it for the first time when you first start this game. Maybe some of you are a little bit further along, so you already know you're pretty well from this point forward. But so this is chapter 1. This is kind of what it looks like when you first jumped in, and your first mission will be Mayleaf Trail. You can go ahead and click Mayleaf Trail. This is what it'll look like. And from this option, you'll see these options will look very similar to when you go into dungeons and event dungeons as well. You'll notice it'll say like a little suggested thing. The suggested is telling you how strong your might needs to be, okay? Our might is like almost 5k, and it's suggesting that our might is 500. It'll tell you right next to the name of the area what type of element that those enemies will be using. So if you notice, save the paladin, there you'll notice the green wind icon next to it, which means we'd want to take fire units into this, but maybe you don't have a full team of fire units. Try to at least have one unit in your team that's at least a fire unit that you can select as your playable character, and we'll talk about that in a moment. So once you get to that point, it'll tell you what your stamina costs, and if you click the little plus sign over here, it'll tell you what your quest endeavor details are to get all of your free wormites for beating it for the first time or whatever. So if you do not allow any of your teammates to fall in battle, which means if they die, you'll get a wormite achievement there. If you allow no more than 2 of your teams to fall in battle, you'll get a second one, and you'll get the third and final one if you don't use any continues, which means you don't faint out or all of your characters die, and you have to use wormites or whatever to go back in and continue again from wherever you left off. And the quest details, it'll tell you what that is: victory, eliminate a specific threat, and defeat all team members fall in battle. That's what happens if you lose. And this is some of the drop rewards you can get, and these are the quest endeavors, which we just read off. If you beat all 3 quest endeavors, you're going to get 5 wormites each one. You'll get 5 more for completion, and you'll get 5 more for beating it for the first time. So that gives you a total of 25 you can get max from each level, and it's been pretty much like that up to chapter 5. I don't know if it gets any different after chapter 5 or not, because that's kind of where I've left off, but I can guarantee you from here on out, from chapter 1 to 5, it'll be basically the same way for every single level. So there's that. So anyways, let's just jump into a battle here. Let's just jump into the very first one, and you'll notice right here, this is where you can select friends or people that are not your friends. You don't have to select a friend. You can actually just go down here and select no helper at all if you don't need that, if you don't need any help. And it's going to always select by default the element that's going to be best used for the map you're going to go into. So like I said, this is going to be a wind map. it wants you to take fire unit. So it has fire selected, but maybe you don't need a fire unit. Maybe you just want a different color. So you can click a different element, and it'll search for friends that have that element as their lead. Or you can just click all, and it'll just show a mix match of all of them. And then you can just select whatever one that you want. And if you take a friend that you're friends with in the battle, you can use their skills 3 times in that match. If they're not a friend, they're just a random user that they're recommending to you, it'll only let you use that 1 time. Or you can choose to use no helper at all and just go in with a complete solo battle. And you can even choose to do this in co-op as well. You can create your own room for this area, create a private room, which will put a password on that room to where only your friends can get in, or you can find a room where other players are looking for help. And if you find a room, you got to use one of your feathers, which you can see at the very top, and those do refill back up, so don't worry. But we're going to go into solo for now. Keep in mind that co-op, anything co-op, you cannot auto battle, and the auto battle tab you will not unlock until I think the second to last level in Chapter 1. I think after you beat the second to last level in Chapter 1, you will then get your auto mode feature. So we'll be showing that as well. So we're just gonna click a random friend here, and it'll ask us to choose what team we want. Of course, we're gonna choose our main team. That's fine. Then we're gonna click begin quest. If you buy the skip items, which we showed in the item shop earlier, you can use those. And the skip items are awesome because you can actually it'll actually level up your characters, give you all the items and everything as if you went through it manually. But it does it for you automatically like that. So it's awesome. So, but anyways, let's go ahead and begin quest. Now, we're going to talk about a few of the things in-game here during gameplay, and then we're done. So, if you've made it this far, congratulations. It's been an hour. Whew! But this is a beginner guide, and this is how things go. And you know your boy Anime goes into full detail, so you don't miss a beat. So, this is what the game will look like when you first start. As you can see, there is no auto battle because auto battle does not come into play until, like I said, second to last on the first chapter. Once you've gotten to that point, every chapter after will have a little button right here where my cursor is that'll let you just click auto battle, and then the game will go through it and go and play through itself. And I would say during auto battle, there's probably some times that you may want to click, you know, your skills and stuff that you can see down here in the bottom right or the bottom left, just to kind of help it out, help the AI out a little bit. You can even transform into a dragon, all that good stuff. But anyways, so you see your 4 characters at the top left, okay? Now, there's a couple things to pay attention to. We are in a map right now that has wind characters, and their weakness is fire. They're strong against water. So if you have a water character in your team, do not make that character your leader. You rather make the character that you want to use a fire type. So for example, we can just click and it will automatically switch to that player. Now we can move that character around, or you can switch to one of your shadow characters, which you can move that around. And each one of these characters has different skills, which you can see down here where my mouse is. Like this character, Cleo, I'm sorry, can actually heal. This character here can also heal. So depending on what situation you're in, you may want to swap to a different character, even if you're auto battling to help the AI out, to make sure that it's using the proper skill for the proper situation. But when it becomes apparent that you're starting to take more damage than you'd like to take, and you need to turn into a dragon, and you're fighting a boss that's a specific element, you'd then want to switch to that character of the proper element with the strength, not the weakness, and click right here when this little, because there's these 2 little bars. When the first bar is full, you can transform into a dragon, and then you can be a dragon for so long, and then it'll go back to a human. But if you have both bars full, you can transform into a dragon, fight a little bit, transform back to a human, wait for a little cooldown to go off, and then you can transform into a dragon again. So depending on how many bars you have full, 1 or 2, that's how many times you can be able to transform into a dragon in a short period of time. And there's items in the game that are like, they look like crystallized shield or crystallized armor or whatever. Destroy those if you're playing manually, and those will give you boosted energy to transform into a dragon a lot faster, because these bars fill up slowly during the map. So, and this is your character skill, and this is your friend skill. And like I said, when you take a friend into battle, you can use their skills 3 times, which you can see by the little yellow boxes. If you take a random player into battle with you, you're not going to be able to use their skill 3 times. You're going to be able to use it once. And you got your mini map up here in the top right. You got this little settings tab here. It tells you your quest details, your quest endeavors, the items that you can get. You can give up or close. So, I mean, pretty standard stuff there. So you're going to click and use your mouse to move around, or if you're on mobile, you're going to use your finger. We're going to move right into here, and we're just going to keep clicking. We're going to click, destroy them, all that good stuff. You're pretty much going to know how to do all this from the tutorial when you first start the game anyway, so I'm not going to really bother going into too much detail with that and using the skills and turn into a dragon, because you guys should know all that by now if you've beaten the tutorial in the game to get to this point anyway. So let's just go ahead and run. We don't need that we don't need that crate. Let's just go. Let's just get through here. Okay, because I'm going to show you another area that uses the actual auto function. But keep that in mind when you're fighting bosses, guys. And I'm going to show you right. Or actually, we'll probably murder this boss because we're so much stronger than this boss right now. But during boss battles, I'll show you something. All right, let's just go ahead and destroy him. He's not even going to survive. We're going to use our friend skill here. We broke him. He's been broken. Okay, so we destroyed that boss. So that's pretty much a run-through of a map very quickly. But we're going to show you a higher-up map and a higher chapter where you can actually utilize the auto function, which I know a lot of you cannot wait to get to that point in the game where you can use the auto function. And like I said, you get the auto function, I believe it's second to last level in Chapter 1, which is the chapter we just went into right now. Let me just go ahead and double check here. So let's just go back out of that. Now let's go all the way to the last. All right, here we go. So I believe it's Chapter 4.4, Chapter 1, Area 4.4, or Chapter 1, Area 4.2. It's one of these two. We can actually quickly go in. I'll waste stamina to find out for you. I think it's this one, though. It may be actually Chapter 1, Area 4.2. It may be. Let's just go ahead and select an area. They want me to grab a fire because, again, this whole area is wind. Let's just go in. I'm pretty sure this is the first level you get to go to that allows you to use the auto function. And from this point on, you'll be able to use the auto function in everything. Except for co-op. Co-op, you have to play manually, so keep that in mind. I believe this is where we get to use the auto function. I hope it is. It may be the next one. Nope, this is where it's at. Great, so this is perfect. So as you can see, now we have the auto disabled. Let's just go ahead and click enable, and the game will play by itself. Now, keep in mind that the AI is not fully optimized to do every single thing. I don't know if they're going to change that later on. I'm assuming they probably will. But right now, it does not use friend skills. It doesn't utilize your own character skills often. And sometimes it's stubborn and turning into a dragon. So you got to be very careful. And it will not auto-switch between your playable characters either. So those are some things that you may want to keep an eye on. But it definitely helps still speed up the game by moving you through the motions pretty quickly in terms of walking around and battling most of the scrubs. So we got a boss battle here. Again, this is going to be easy peasy. But let's just say that boss was water, and we wanted to use a wind type and turn into a wind to turn into a wind dragon. Well, we would simply just go here, switch our characters to a wind dragon, boom. There you go. Then you turn into a wind dragon and wail on that boss. But then you need to heal up quickly. So you'd quickly switch back to your other character when you're done being a dragon. Use the heal skill and then switch back to your other character. That has the element advantage. So you can keep wailing back on the boss again. That's how you play strategically to be able to win while still maintaining all your character's HP. So that's the tutorial. I hope you guys all enjoyed. This is the beginner guide for Dragalia Lost. I know it was a long one. I knew it was going to be, but I feel like attention to detail is a must, and I hope you guys do appreciate it. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Be sure to subscribe, become an Impact player today. Join us in the Discord below. I hope this tutorial was helpful. Again, I will have additional links that can help you in the description below as always for the Reddit, the wiki, and stuff like that for Dragalia Lost. So hope you guys all take a look at those if you need additional help. And like the video if you did. I appreciate the support and the love from all of you, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.